Hello, and welcome to episode 1 of the Life and Finances Together podcast. I am your host, Chelsea Stino, the Director of Communications at Reinfeldt & David, and I am excited to introduce our financial professionals, Roger David and Jake Reinfeldt, to you today. They're going to be sharing a little bit about themselves, so gentlemen, let's get started.
Well, Roger, first question of today's interview, if you will, is have you always wanted to be in finance? Did you always want to work in this industry?
Oh, gosh, did I always want to work in finance? Actually, no. Out of high school, I thought I was going to be a pediatrician, right? Like working with kids, want to help people. I thought, yeah, it's all going to be good. I'm going to become a doctor, and everybody in the family is going to love it and be proud. Then we had one little drawback. I had a little problem with the sight of blood and seeing needles go into people's arms. So at that point in time, it was pretty clear that that was probably not going to work. And, always loved watching Michael J. Fox movies when he was pretending to be, this unbelievably smart businessman, right? I mean, when he was young and he's doing all kinds of crazy things like, hey, why not do that? So, there's a number of different things that kind of led to this. My dad was a successful businessman. But the one thing that I wanted to do was, what could I do where I could help people? And kind of apply some of this business background and education that I had to help people. And it was a way to combine the things I thought I was going to do as a pediatrician, along with some of the business things that I learned when I was in college, and say, let's put this thing together and let's go about this and try to help people in a different way. And that's kind of how I got here. And it's been one heck of a journey, right? What about you? You were here working in the office, watching your dad and I all the time do our thing on Saturday mornings of all things and Jake would have to be in the office for like 4 hours with us, but he was a direct witness to what Rob and I did for years.
Yeah, ironically, with my dad starting the firm and Roger being my godfather and kind of it just being part of the family, I also originally did not want to be a financial advisor.
And the Godfather thing, that's not the thing like in the movie, so don't worry about that. There's nothing like that going on. That's a real Godfather, not the other kind of Godfather.
Yeah, exactly. I, in high school, I was part of the newspaper at Forest Hills Eastern and loved architecture, and I thought that I would maybe pursue a profession in one of those areas until I realized I was never going to be the next great reporter, nor was I going to be the next Frank Lloyd Wright. And when I started college, I just kind of started from scratch, determining through Grand Valley, what interested me. I always had a passion for math, and just naturally, I got into finance. I got into the business school at Grand Valley, started taking classes, and found it on my own way, found my own path into this business and into this industry. And I think that that's a little bit more fulfilling, knowing that I wasn't kind of forced into it like a lot of people are forced into working for their dad or working in the family business. I kind of found my own path to Reinfeldt & David. Yeah.
So, one of the things, we get asked all the time is, how'd you get here, right? What was your first job? We get to talk to clients about all that kind of stuff. It's really interesting to even realize that some clients worked in the same teenager high school jobs that I did, and they're maybe 10 or 15 years older. But might have a little bit of idea, but Jake, what did you do? What was your first job, and how did it influence you, right? What did you bring from those jobs here? Yeah. I'm interested to hear this right now. It's the first time.
Well, if we're getting technical, I guess my first job where I received compensation was cleaning the office. And
your dad paid you? You actually needed to pay you?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. And I thought he made you do it for room and board.
Yeah, right. It instilled a work ethic in me that, you had a specific task and you had to do it and you had to do it well. So we want to get technical. Again, if we want to get technical, I also worked at one of the on-campus restaurants at Grand Valley to earn a little bit of spending money in college washing dishes. So, I did a couple of those odds and ends jobs through college. My first legitimate job is here. I started working here after an internship with a third-party manager. Started right at Reinfeldt & David, and I've been here ever since.
Yeah, we sent you out to Pennsylvania.
Yes.
So you had to learn, kind of the hard way, I guess. right?
Yeah, was that in and of itself was a really good experience. Not that I was ever planning to work for the third party manager, but it helped me understand all the intricacies of investing and the different strategies that we would use for our clients as well. From making portfolio selections and all the inner workings over at the third party manager.
Right.
So it gave me a really good basis into part of the grand picture of things that we provide for our clients. So that's really where I started. And Roger, same to you.
Well, Jake's career commencement, if you will, is a heck of a lot more glamorous than mine. I mean, I'll tell you, where did mine start? Mine started at a local restaurant here in Grand Rapids, right? Just no longer around. And my dad had to sign a special work permit because I was too young to get a job at that point. So he had to sign a special work permit for me to get a job doing what? Bussing tables and washing dishes. And I'll never forget, this is probably, and I still carry this with me today, to think, what does washing dishes and bussing tables and working at a restaurant have to do with anything that I do now? And the incredible thing was attention to detail. So when you're working in a restaurant, you want to work your way up from bussing tables, washing dishes, and then you know what? You want to get to the fry cook. You want to start making the burgers and look cool, right, with everybody coming in. Well, they kept me in that job for about 2 years, and the reason is they kept having professional shoppers come in every other week on the days that I was bussing tables and washing dishes. And I was raised by a great Dutch mother that just taught me how to clean and clean unbelievably well and attention to detail. And guess what? I got to stay in that dining room for about 2 years because I did such a great job of cleaning the bathrooms, making sure the floor was clean, and cleaning ketchup bottles to make sure that those were presentable to customers that came in. And I remember the owner of the restaurant coming in and saying, I was probably one of the highest paid busboys and dishwashers ever. And he just said, your attention to detail in this thing, every time a professional shopper comes in, we go back and we look that you were on the floor. And I'm thinking, oh, this is not going to be good. Right, so they're going to keep me here. And we joked about it. And I used to see him after I graduated from college. He says, I still remember he was the greatest, busboy and dishwasher. And it really related back to attention to detail, right? I mean, back then it was getting every crumb off the floor and making sure that there wasn't any ketchup residue on the ketchup bottles, right? All those little things, and the cleanliness in the bathrooms and all that little attention to detail that we kind of don't think about so much today. That attention to detail just kind of carries over in a different way to what we do today. And there has to be that attention to detail. It's seen, it's noticed, and you know what? It's desired. And that's what I kind of go back to. When I was a teenager, bussing those tables and washing the dishes and vacuuming the floor with a little push vacuum, So I mean, those are some of my fondest memories too, right? As a kid, at the time, I'm like, gosh, my dad made me do this. What the heck? I got to do this thing. He's going to make me bust these tables. I'm sweating. It's not really nice here, but is the greatest thing. Is probably the thing I value the most. That kind of made me who I am today, and translated so much into what we do here in our firm and what we do for clients and attention to detail. One of the things we get asked all the time is, what's our favorite part of the job? What do we enjoy the most, And I'm just going to have you answer that question and tell me, as the young guy, hey, what's your favorite part of the job? And don't worry about anything, right? That, it's Ryan Belton David, that you work with me, that I'm your godfather and related to your mom when you give the answer. Because the most favorite part should be actually working for me, right? But there might be something else. I'm just going to throw that out.
My answer is going to be working with you.
That's it.
Trained by you.
I think we're done.
Getting to see you first thing in the morning, or I leave, it just makes every day.
That must be the best. I mean, I don't think you're even your Aunt Kaima says the first thing that she loves in the morning is seeing me in the morning. And you just said that. I mean, that's just incredible. Look at this guy right here.
I'm trying to get a big bonus.
Yeah, I have to see this is how they work here.
In all honesty, my favorite part of this job is working with and helping others, and that sounds just so cliche and basic with this industry, but it really is that. It's getting to know people really personally, understanding who they are, and what their desires are, what goals they have, things that they want to accomplish in their life, And then as we continue to build this relationship, any curveballs that life throws at them, helping them plan around those things and solve any problems that come up. It's really about educating. I mean, even whether it's people in my age range, educating them and being an advisor, hopefully that works for them through the same life stages in their life. But it's also, older individuals as well. Everybody's got different stories. Everyone's plan is unique to them. There's no two plans that are the same. And everybody has different things that happen in their life. And it's really just the excitement of seeing new things and figuring out new ways to solve for different problems that clients have, because everyone's so unique. And it really makes, along with all the craziness of the markets, just how unique every single client interaction is kind of exciting. And it really keeps me wanting to come back so I can continue to learn more and figure out how to solve these problems for clients.
So it's kind of like learning about their why,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, we know what they do for a living, but what's interesting is just understanding that why when we get into them telling their story,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, that's what's incredible. You get to listen to that, you can understand, what's important to them, and so that why answer is just, I don't know how you feel about it, but
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk to clients, and we present on this in the intro presentation. It's what legacy do you want to leave? And everyone thinks a legacy. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to have a ton of money to leave behind for a huge foundation, and that's not necessarily your legacy. It can be a monetary thing, but it could just be an intrinsic thing as well. Something that you want to be known for. Different goals that you have. Really, what is your why? What do you want to accomplish on this time you have on Earth, and how can we give you advice to help you accomplish those things?
yeah, I agree. I mean, it's those are those favorite things, the things that we just love to do. I mean, I'm not going to say that my favorite thing is to see you in the morning, first thing in the morning, but I'm pretty sure that you said that was your favorite thing, to see me in the morning.
Yeah.
I mean that's just that. I don't know if there's any other answer after that. That should just be it. But we talk about this favorite thing, this thing that when we talk about what our motivation is, and everything. And it goes even beyond the interactions we have with our clients. It's fun to even see, even our team members grow. I mean, we used to be a firm of 3. Actually, we used to be a firm of 2. And it was just Rob and myself before we even hired an assistant. We used to do all the stuff ourselves. And way back when, and then it became a team of 3 for a long time with Julie, who has been with us now for over 20 years. But then also to see this grow, that's probably one of my favorite things. To see us grow to reach almost, $500 million that we're managing, almost becoming a mid-sized firm, in the scheme of, our industry. And to see the firm grow, and to see, the people that have been with us for over the years, to see them grow. I mean, that's one of my favorite things, just see that evolution of everybody and the firm. And, you've got, I mean, you're my godson. I used to carry you around the house when you were a baby, and now all of a sudden here you are, and we're working together and doing these things to make differences in people's lives. So, I mean, that's one of my favorite things. I just love to see the evolution of everything and how we've gotten to this point. It's incredible.
Well, it's very clear that, this is a place for passion and compassion and working for people and wanting to help. Thanks so much for watching, for listening, and for learning more about Roger and Jake with me today. If you have any questions about our team, our services, or finances in general, please check out our website. That's reinveltdavid.com. Give us a call, send us an email, and of course, please like and subscribe to our podcast and stay tuned for the next episode.
This podcast is for entertainment and educational purposes only and is not intended as personal financial advice. Before making any financial decision, please do your own research and consult a financial advisor as needed.